If you own a business with multiple salespeople and you want to learn how to automate the appointment distribution to those salespeople using high level, then stick around because in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the exact steps to make it quick and easy for you to set up your own round robin appointment distribution system using the high level platform. And if you'd like to get my round robin setup, SOP, and high level snapshot, I'm going to drop a link in the description below so you can find out how. Set up the round robin system in your high level account, I'm actually going to be referring to this SOP that you're seeing on your screen. This is our ClickUp SOP library. And this SOP in particular actually gives you step-by-step in great detail everything that you need to know to set up the round robin system in your account. So I'm actually going to drop a link to this in the description so you can grab this at any time. I'm also going to drop a link to the actual high-level round robin snapshot so you can install it into your account and make this super easy to set everything up. So now let's get started walking you through how to set up the round robin system in your account. So the first thing that we need to do when setting up the round robin system in your account is to log into high level, navigate to the sub account where you want to add the round robin system, and then we're going to start inviting all the sales reps to the account. Once we've done that, we're actually going to create a sales team and add all those sales reps to the sales team. So the easiest way to invite your sales team to high level is to go to Launchpad, scroll down to the bottom here to quickly add one or more team members, and then click the add button. Then we can start dropping in all the emails of our sales reps that we want to invite to the system. Once you've done that, you'll click send invite, and then you're going to send them instructions to log in and then populate their profile or optimize their profile and fill out that information. To do that, they're going to scroll down to the bottom here and go to settings. In the old menu, you would get a list of links here at the top, and you would go to the first one, which is profile. In the new view, you actually click on profile here in the left-hand side. They'll fill out all their personal information, name, phone number, email. And then anytime you make an edit to any of these sections, make sure you click the green update button to update the information in that particular section. You'll have them add an email signature to make the emails that they send out a little bit more professional. And then we want to integrate Zoom if we're running our meetings on Zoom. And then if we're running our calendar through Outlook, we want to integrate that here by clicking these two connect buttons. Now, if you're not using Outlook and you're using Google calendars, we want to go to integrations. We want to have the rep sign into their Google account, and that's going to allow high level to integrate with their Google account and then sync up their calendars. So we're going to go back to profile once you've done that. And then if this is the first time they've ever logged in, you gave them a temporary password. They probably want to come in here and edit that and then update the password. Then we're going to go to the user availability section. The first thing you're going to see here is meeting location. So this is actually going to be the link that you send in your reminders in your actual calendar event for them to log on to at the time of the appointment to actually have that meeting. So again, got a couple of choices or three choices here. So if you use Zoom, click the connect Zoom. If you use Google Meet, select Google Meet. If you're doing a different system that's not either Zoom or Google Meet, you can select custom, and then you can drop the actual URL of your meeting in that little field here. Then we want to set the time zone, and this is for the actual sales rep themselves. Now, by default, the system is going to look at the company's time zone. So each sales rep needs to set their own personal time zone on their profiles, and then they need to set their available hours. So these are the hours that they want to be available to take appointments, take sales calls. So Monday through Friday and whatever time of day that they want to take those calls. Then we're going to set up our calendar configuration. Again, the primary calendar is going to be the one calendar that Google or that high level is going to look at and see if there's an appointment slot available. And then if there is, the person's going to book, and then it's going to sync with that calendar and add that appointment to their calendar. So what we want to do is click this edit button, and then we want to select the account that we've added to the system. And then we want to select the primary calendar that we want the system to sync with. Now, I do not allow contact creation. What that does is if there is a appointment booked outside of the high level system, it's going to push that person into high level as a lead, and that can cause all kinds of issues. So I just do not do that. So would you click save? And then you also want to set up a check for conflicts calendar if you're using a secondary calendar for personal events or whatever the case. Once you've done all that and you've got all your sales reps in the system, it's time to create your sales team. So to do that, we're going to go to settings and then my staff, In the old view, again, it's just going to be settings, and you'll see teams in the top menu here. So we're going to click on teams, and then we're going to click add team, and then we're going to expand the team info. We're going to give the team a name, whatever you want to call your sales team. Maybe it's the strategy team. And then we want to select all of the team members. So these are all the sales reps that you want to be in the actual sales team or on the sales team. Now, I like to toggle this off because in the sales team, I like to have the round robin calendar, but I also like to have individual sales rep calendars under the sales team as well. And so by toggling this on, that would automatically add every new salesperson that you added to the team to those individual sales rep calendars, and you don't want to do that. So I just toggle that off and do it manually. So you might call this strategy team calendars, and then you can just copy that, drop it in the description. And I encourage you to, once you have all this set up, to actually open up one of the sales team calendars and see where all these names and descriptions show up. So then you can go in and you can edit all these names and descriptions to look the way you want it to look and to have the copy you want the actual prospect or person booking the appointment you want them to see. So that's just a little pro tip. Next thing you want to do is you want to set up the calendar team URL slug. And so we're just going to do something like yourbiz-sales, assign contacts to their respective calendar team members each time an appointment is booked. So this is basically saying that each time an appointment is booked on the sales team calendars, this is going to assign one of the users to that particular contact. Now, if we do toggle this on, and then we have this next one that says skip assigning contact if the contact already has an assigned user. So if you do not want to reassign someone once they book an appointment, then you would toggle this on. I would toggle the first one on, but not the second one. And once you have all that set up, you just click save, and that's going to create your sales team. Next, we're actually going to go and we're going to set up your round robin calendar. All right, so we're in the calendars area of high level. To get there, you can go to settings and then calendars. If you're looking at the old view, there'll be a menu here at the top, and you'll just click on calendars. This is what it's going to look like, except for if this is the first time you're setting this up, you're not going to see these calendars down here. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create our round robin calendar underneath the sales team. So you will see the sales team. So to do that, we're going to click on the new calendar button here. And then the first thing that we need to decide is how do we want to optimize distribution? Do we want to optimize by availability, which means first come, first serve? Or do we want to optimize by equal distribution, which means each sales rep is going to get an equal number of appointments? So once you've made that decision, then you're going to put a check mark by all of the sales team that you want to distribute these appointments to. Then you'll set the priority of each salesperson. So say you have a really high closer that you want to increase their priority so that they get more appointments, then you can set that here. Then you want to set the meeting location for all of your sales reps. So if your sales reps are using Zoom or Google Meet, you can connect one of those. If they're using another tool outside of those two, then you'll mark it as custom, and then you'll drop the URL of the meeting location here. Then we'll give our calendar a name. So we're just going to say strategy session with company name. And then you can put a description here. You don't have to. I encourage you to, once you set all these calendars up, open up the calendar and see where all the names and descriptions actually come into the calendar. That way you can go back and you can tweak it, edit it to make it look like the way you want the clients to see when they land on this page. So I'm going to leave the description blank. We're just going to give a calendar slug here. And I'm not too worried about this because I'm going to show you how to create a much shorter, more attractive link in a little bit later in this video. Then we're going to give the appointment title. So I'm going to say strategy session with, and with these appointment titles, you can use custom values. So I'm going to use a custom value for location name, and that's basically going to pull in the company name that's associated with this account. So this appointment title is going to be the title that they see on the actual event on their calendar. Then you can choose an event color. So if you want all of your strategy sessions to be one color so that you can look at your calendar and know exactly what that meeting is, then you can set that event color here. Then we're going to click save and continue, and we're going to go to availability. This is where we're going to set up our appointment information. So the first one's going to be slot duration. How long are these appointments going to be? Are they going to be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, longer than that? You'll decide that there. And then you want to say, when can these people book? Every 30 minutes, every 15 minutes, every hour. That's the slot interval. And then the buffer duration is going to be the time between appointments. How long do you want your salespeople to be able to take a break before they jump on another call? Appointments per slot, I would just keep that at 1, and then appointments per day, just keep that blank. Minimum scheduling notice. This is how long in advance do you want to give the salesperson to prepare for a call. Date range. So this is how far out in advance do you want the client to be able to book? Do you want them to be able to book a month in advance or just 2 weeks? You'll set that here. And then office hours. So this is going to default to the company time zone. If your sales reps are in foreign countries and they're in a much different time zone, like 5-10 hours, you need to open up the office hours to encompass your sales team's available hours. Otherwise, the hours of availability for those sales reps will not show up. So once we've got all that set, we're going to click Save and Continue, and then we're going to go to Confirmation. So if you want to collect more information than just name, email address, and phone number, then you can create a custom form in High Level, and you can select that form here to be used on this particular calendar. Use sticky contacts. So when a lead comes into High Level, they are now cookied, their browser is now cookied. So if they land on this calendar form, you can select Use Sticky Contact, and their information will be already pre-populated in the fields that you provide. Notification and additional options. So let the calendar auto-confirm appointment. So if you want every appointment that's booked to just go ahead and be confirmed, you don't need to review another calendar and then accept the request or deny the request. Then just go ahead and check this. If you need to review another calendar and then accept or confirm the request, then you would uncheck this. Send appointment alerts. I like to just do this as a catch-all, and then allow the Google Calendar to send an invitation or update emails to attendees. I like to check that. Allow reschedule, allow cancellation, yes. Now you're going to have to add some additional things in these notes, and this is basically what's going to show up in the email that they receive from Google, and then the event information. So I like to drop in the meeting location, and I also like to add a little piece of code to the end of this reschedule link for the round robin calendar, and I'll drop the whole additional notes in the description below. But this extra piece of code is going to allow, if someone clicks on that reschedule link inside the email or inside the event, then they're going to go to a calendar that only has the availability of the user that they were just assigned to. So if you want that to happen, then you can use the piece of code that I'm going to drop in the description. Facebook Pixel ID, you can drop your Facebook Pixel ID if you want to track all the events here. Custom code if you want to add your own custom design to the calendar. And then form submissions. What do you want to happen after the form submission is complete? Do you want to redirect them to a new URL? Or do you want to have a custom thank you message? So once you've set all that up, you're ready to go. You'll click complete, and now your round robin calendar is done. Now, the next thing that you probably want to do is just go ahead and copy one of these. So we'll just click copy calendar, and then we're going to set up the individual sales reps calendars. So to do that, you really want to unselect all of the people that are not for this particular sales rep. So you're just going to choose one sales rep that you're creating a calendar for. And then you'll basically change the name. So call with Ron Medlin, whoever the actual sales rep is. And then we can put the slug at the end of it. So we can put Ron, or you can do Ron Medlin. And then you would do call with Ron Medlin. And then again, you can do the event color here, and then you can click save. And then you'll make all the edits to the appointment slot settings, and then the availability or office hours will be for that particular sales rep. So you'll just have the office hours, or this will kind of match the available hours for that particular sales rep. The next thing is we're going to click over here, and really everything's going to stay pretty much the same. You don't need that extra code on the end of the reschedule link. And then you might want to change where they're redirected at the end of the form submission. So once you have that, you now have your first sales reps calendar, and then you can just duplicate this calendar for all sales reps, go in and change and edit the actual name and the slug for each, and you're pretty much, that's how you can duplicate these individual sales rep calendars every time you have a new sales rep come on board. And if you have a new sales rep, you need to add them to the sales team first, and then you would create them a calendar. All right, so that's how we set up the round robin calendar and the individual sales rep calendars. All right, so now let's open up one of these calendars and take a look at what everything looks like. So I'm gonna open up this one I just created for myself. And you can see that the name of the team is here. You've got the name of the calendar here, and then the name of, or the description of the calendar would come in here. So you can go back and add that if you'd like. And then if we go back, you can see that this is the list of calendars underneath the actual strategy team or sales team. So you've got the strategy team name or the team name here, and then you've got the calendar configuration name here, and then you've got all your calendars here with a description. And that, let's see what that would look like. So that's what a description would look like on the actual calendar. So if you want to go back and make some edits to make it look the way you want when a customer or a prospect lands on this page, you can go ahead and do that. You'll also notice that at the top here, the link to this calendar is really long and unattractive. So it's not something you really want to share with your actual client. So what we like to do is create funnel pages that serve as our link in our page that we're going to send people to on our calendar. So to do that, you're just going to go back, and then you're going to go to sites in the new view, and then funnels here. Now, if you're in the old view, you're going to go to funnels and websites, I believe, and expand that menu and then click on funnels. And then what you can do is you can just create a funnel page, calendar, and then you can do round robin, create that funnel. And then I'm not going to go through this whole process, but we would just add a funnel step. So booking page, the book call or strategy session, whatever you want it to be for the link. And then we're just going to do create funnel step. And then we're going to go here and we're going to edit it. And then you can just drop a row in here, drop a column in here, drop the calendar element. So I'm going to go and I'm going to grab the calendar element, and then I'm going to click into that calendar, and I can select, this was going to be my round robin calendar. So we're going to call this the strategy session calendar, and it will populate that calendar. You can click save. You can add some, design, your logo, maybe a picture of the sales reps or sales team, however you want to design this. And then once you're ready, you go back, and then we're going to click into settings, and then you're going to select the custom domain that you should have set up in an earlier step. I don't have one in here, but you would select that domain. That's going to be your main domain. Click save, and then it will automatically create the link with the URL, that custom domain that you added, and the slug at the end of it will be booked call. So now that's the URL that you can actually share with people when you want to send them your calendar link. Okay, so that is how to set up a more attractive, shorter link for your calendars. All right, so now that we got our sales team set up, we've got our calendar set up, we've created a good looking link for our calendar. And the next thing we want to do is we want to start creating our automations. So the first thing that I like to do is go ahead and set up our sales pipeline. So to do that, we're going to go to settings, then we're going to go to pipelines. In the old view, it's going to be at the top. And then you could click create new pipeline, and you'll come in here, name it sales pipeline, and then you'll start creating the stages. I wouldn't worry too much about whether you want to visualize that in a funnel chart or a pie chart. You can do that later once you kind of figure out how things flow. But you would add all your stages, and I'll kind of show you ours so you can see what that would look like. So once you've created a pipeline, it's going to show up in your opportunities area. So you'll go back, and then you'll see opportunities in the left-hand side here in both views. And I'll show you what ours kind of looks like. This is a very simple one. You can add stages if you need more, or you can take stages away if you want less. When a lead comes in, that's when we actually generate a lead through ads or some other traffic source. They're going to come into this stage, and then we're going to send them that round robin calendar, which is this initial call. And once they book on that calendar, it's automatically going to go here. And I'll show you how we do that in a second. And then once the call happens, they're either going to complete the call and they're going to move the call over here. That's going to be a manual move, or you can actually automate that too, or they're going to manually move it to call canceled or call no show. So this makes it a lot easier for the salesperson to kind of manage it if they just know that they need to go to opportunities to manage their sales calls. So they can either mark it at canceled or no show, and that's going to trigger an automated campaign that's going to try to get them rebooked. And then once they complete the call, they'll move them here. And then after the round robin call happens, if the sales rep needs to follow up, they need to use their individual calendars. Because, and I found this hard way, once you send somebody the round robin calendar, that does not necessarily mean when they book on that calendar that they're going to get the same sales rep. So the sales rep needs to book on their individual calendar after that initial call. And then you've got the same kind of setup. Once the call is booked, it'll automatically go here, and then they'll either move it manually to complete the call, or they'll cancel or no show, and that will trigger a automation to get them rebooked on that calendar. Once they have these calls, then you would mark them to 1. If they're not a good fit, maybe you mark them to lost. You can do a lot of different things if you've got, a deeper pipeline that you want more actions to happen. But this is a pretty basic, straightforward one, and it's easy for the sales team to manage. All right, now that we have the sales pipeline set up, let's head over to workflows and see what the automations around this round robin calendar setup look like. So I'm going to go to automation in the left-hand side here. In the old view, you're going to see workflows around the top. And then this is going to give you a list of all your workflow folders. We're going to click into the game plan call folders because that's the initial call or strategy session or round robin calendar for our business, and the high ticket with high level snapshot. So we've got 3 workflows in this folder. We've got the call reminders, the cancellation workflow, and the no-show workflow. So let's first look at the call reminders workflow to see how this is set up. So the trigger here, if we click into the trigger, is going to be appointment. The workflow trigger is going to be appointment, and then we're going to add some filters, one of which is in calendar, and then we're going to choose our round robin calendar. And then the appointment status is confirmed. So that's telling us that when an appointment is confirmed on this calendar, do these next steps. So the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to remove from all workflows, and then we're going to send an internal notification to the assigned user that was distributed this appointment by the round robin calendar. Then we're going to update the sales pipeline. So we're going to end sales pipeline. This is the pipeline that it's in, and then we're going to move them to the initial call booked stage. Because remember, our sales team is now working in the sales pipeline to make it super easy on them to manage the process. Then we're going to add a game plan call tag, and then we're going to send confirmation, both text and email. Then we're going to use the wait function to wait 1 day before the appointment or event time, okay? So that's how we're doing these reminders, is using the wait for event or appointment time. And then we're using the before function, and then we choose the number of days or hours or minutes. So then we're going to send another text reminder. We're going to wait 1 hour before the appointment and send a text and email reminder. And then we're going to wait 10 minutes before the appointment and send a 10-minute email and text reminder. So that is the game plan call or strategy session or round robin call reminders workflow. Now let's take a look at the cancellation and no-show workflows. Now these are very similar, so I'm just going to look at one. So let's go into the cancellation workflow, and let's look at our trigger here. The trigger is going to be pipeline stage changed, and then we're going to add some filters. The first filter is going to be in pipeline, and we're going to choose the pipeline that we're working in. And then the pipeline stage is going to be initial call canceled. Remember, this is when our salesperson's working in our sales pipeline, and if the call is canceled, they're going to drag it over to initial call canceled, and then that's going to trigger the rest of this workflow. Now, if this was the no-show workflow, the only change here is this is going to be initial call no-show, and then we're going to save that trigger. So I won't show the other one. That's basically how the only change. So what's going to happen now is going to update the appointment status to canceled, okay? And then we're going to add a contact tag that says they canceled their appointments. And then we're going to remove them from the call reminders, because if they cancel, we don't want them to continue to get reminders about the call. Then we're going to send an internal notification letting the user know that's assigned to this contact that the person canceled. Then we're going to wait an hour. So this is just going to be a time delay wait. We're going to wait an hour, because if they show up for the, maybe they call us and say, hey, sorry, I missed the call. Can we jump on the meeting now? Then we want to wait and give them a little bit of time to do that. And then we're going to send a SMS and email follow-up trying to get them rebooked with our booking link. And then we're going to wait till 11 o'clock the next day, send the text and email reminder. And then we're going to wait again a 24-hour period and then send them the text and email reminder. Now that is going to be the workflows for the round robin. Once I get that set up, I probably would just duplicate these and then duplicate all 3 of these and then move them to the follow-up calls, and then just change the triggers for each of the different workflows. So the first workflow that you're going to change is for the call reminders, and you're just going to select the sales reps calendar instead of the game plan calendar. Okay. Also, another change is you're going to change the sales pipeline stage to follow-up call booked instead of initial call booked. So that's the one change for the call reminders. Everything else is going to stay the same. Now, if we go into the cancellation and the no-show workflows, let's take a look at these. So the one change here is going to be, we're going to change the pipeline stage from initial call canceled to follow-up call canceled. And let's see if there's any other changes. I don't believe there's any other changes. And then if we look at the final one here, we're just going to be, it's going to be follow-up call no-show instead of the initial call no-show. Also, you want to make sure that you choose the correct call reminders that you're removing them from. And then once you've got that set up, you've got all your workflows set up, you got your pipelines, you got your sales team, you got your calendars, everything set up for your round robin sales system. So there you have it. Follow the steps in this video to be able to set up your very own round robin appointment distribution system. And if you want to make setting up that round robin system a lot quicker and easier, I'll drop a link to my SOP and my high-level snapshot in the description below so you can grab that at any time. And if you like this video, be sure and give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Cheers.